Hey guys, how's it going? Jono here. And as many of you probably already know, I want to become a filmmaker. And last year, back in 2017, I actually took my first step to do that and made my first short film, which was an incredibly scary experience, but also the best experience that I've had so far. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about how I made my first film. Quick little disclaimer, if you haven't already seen the film, link is in the description down below. If you want to go give it a watch before you watch this video, just so you know what I'm talking about, might help a little bit, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd go watch my film. So I know what you're thinking follows a couple called Mike and Jess, and they what I deem to be your standard typical couple, and we find them on a Saturday morning in Jess's car on the side of the road. They've just had the most almighty row, and it's in the silence period just after the argument. You know the sort where people don't want to admit the blame, they're being very self-absorbed, nobody speaks, it's just utter silence. So I wanted to dive inside their heads and hear their innermost thoughts as they blame, rage, fantasize and mull over their different options in that situation. So making a film can actually be quite a scary thing to do. You have a massive mountain to climb, and reaching the peak can seem like an almost impossible task. But when you overcome the fear and you actually realise that you have the skill available and the knowledge to be able to pull off the film and make it to what you wanted it to be, it seems like an easy task. But when you start at the very beginning, it can be very scary. Now, I'm not the best writer, but I had this idea that I wanted to get onto paper. I wanted to make it into a script, but I didn't know how to. So I called my friend Tom Critch, who's a good friend of mine, and we had a couple of Skype sessions, bounced the ideas off him. He come aboard, and before I knew it, we had a draft script, and I could see my vision come into life. You probably need to understand that at this point, I had no money to fund a film. I mean, pretty much every filmmaker that I've spoken to at this level says the same thing. We either have no money to put behind a film, which can be quite a tricky thing to then pull off, making a film with no money. So I reached out to my friends, I went onto social media, I attended some local networking events, and before I knew it, I had the basics of a cast and a crew, and I was ready to shoot my film. It was at this point the nerves started to kick in. I was thinking to myself, in a few days' time, I am going to be on set, directing a film, directing actors, having a crew looking at me thinking, what the hell are you doing here? What are we making? And I had to somehow portray my vision in my head, get it out onto film. But shoot day number one come around, and before I knew it, the cast and crew were in position, the camera was ready to roll, and the film was becoming a reality in front of me. This little idea that I had is now going to become a film, and that's something I find so fascinating, and I still enjoy to this day, is turning this little idea or this character that you have and moulding that into a story and then a script and then getting a cast and a crew and then making a film. There is nothing more pleasing than that feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all smooth sailing. As probably every filmmaker will tell you, there is always problems that arise when you make a film. You can plan and you can plan, but the unexpected will always happen and try and crush your dreams of making this film. But you need to overcome those hurdles to be able to make the film and complete your project. So when we finished shooting the film, it was then on to post-production, and I had a good little team to help me with post-production. I had someone helping me with colour grading, with music and sound design, which I find delegating work out to other individuals that are probably better at those individual tasks is the best thing to do. I mean, at the end of the day, filmmaking is all about collaborating with other creative members. I mean, you can't exactly make a film alone. I mean, you could, but you're always going to lack in certain areas. So where I might be better at operating a camera or physically editing the film, someone might be better at doing the sound or colour grading or visual effects, whatever it may be. let them do that part of the film, and it's going to make the end result so much better. So the best bit of advice I can give you when it comes to post-production is to give yourself a deadline. Deadlines are the most important thing when it comes to making a film. I can put my hand on my heart and say that I am terrible after I've finished a shoot and I've got the footage offloaded onto my computer into the edit suite, and it just sits there. You know, I'll start the edit and then I'll start procrastinating. I'll go on YouTube, I'll go on Facebook, I'll go get a drink. Oh, but I'll just quickly watch a bit of TV. And then weeks go by and the film's not finished or the project isn't done. And that can be a really frustrating thing for a filmmaker, because you've got this gorgeous looking footage and this great sounding audio, and you know, so many people have put their time and effort into it, and it's just sitting there. And it's really easy to just walk away from it and say, yeah, no, I'll do that another time. But if you set yourself a deadline, you will get it done, you'll feel so much better, and when that project's complete, you know, you can move on and you can start work on the next one. So what we decided to do was to enter the film into some festivals. We scanned through a whole bunch and found the ones that we thought would be right for our film. And we found the submission dates, or the deadlines for when the film needed to be in, and then we set ourselves a date when the film needed to be finished by. And we stuck to it, which is great. And we had this finished film that was ready to be put into submissions. So once the film had been submitted to the festivals, I could finally sit back and relax and say that I had finally directed my first short film. Now, there's nothing quite like the feeling of sitting there after months of hard work on this project and being able to say that it's finished and it's ready for people to watch. But it is also the most terrifying thing, because somebody is going to watch something that you've put so much time and effort into, and you're worried that people aren't going to like it and that they're going to hate it, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. But you need to just kind of ignore all of those feelings and just get it out there. Get as many people watching your film, because the feedback that you're going to get from that is going to help you grow and become a better filmmaker and make better films for it. I was lucky enough that my film got selected in some festivals. It got screened, it got nominated as a semi-finalist, and I also got nominated as Best Film by a filmmaker under 25, which was incredible. And to have that kind of recognition for my first film has just spurred me on to make more. So we're now in 2018, and it's been about a year since I had the first idea to make this film. And it's finally out, it's released, it's available to view, and I am so glad that I was able to work with a fantastic cast and crew and have that experience of making that film, and I cannot wait to make my next film. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Smash that like rating and give that subscribe button a hit if you did enjoy it. It will notify you when I upload a new video, and hopefully I can bring you guys along on the journey when I make my next short film. I'll hopefully be doing a bigger in-depth look with some BTS and some more kind of vlog style videos whilst I'm on set shooting, and hopefully you guys will join me with that. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week.